Showtime, folks. Welcome to the greatest college football podcast on planet Earth. Wide Right CFB, our first co-host. His sticker is unseen. He says the West Coast is the best coast. He's so cool that Snap-on named a color after him. You can't spell Santa Cruz without S and C. Please welcome. Drumroll, please. Cool Jude Santa Cruz.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Fight on. How's everyone doing? Hope you guys are ready for a good week of college football. What's going on, Cass?
Excellent. An excellent week. What's up, man? Oh, man, we already have our number one fan here. Bocce
Yes, there she
Blanket
is.
anymore. The one, the only, the infamous Bocce. So far, it's just Jude and I on the chat here. Our co-host Lindsay will be along shortly, and then co-host Hunter may or may not make a special appearance. Not sure on that one yet. Oh man, what a great week last week in college football, huh?
Man, I was bummed out to see Travis Hunter go down, but yeah, it was a good week of football.
It's a big risk. So we always do winners and losers from the previous week. So give me a winner from last week. What team was a winner?
Last week? A big winner last week. I'm going to go out and say, how about we say, man, you caught me off guard. I knew that was coming too, but biggest winner of the week, I'm going to say, was Boston College, man. Or maybe Lindsay for Boston College coming out and balling up against Florida State, man. I couldn't believe they 29-31, I think.
Did you see the game?
I was watching highlights.
So after Boston College kind of like lost the game, when the last 30 seconds when it was all over about the crying, you could hear the fans chanting, "Overrated." It was hysterical. Winner for me last week, the University of South Alabama. Oof, what they did to Oklahoma State in Stillwater, they beat the life out of them. Oklahoma State, terrible team. Terrible team. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
let me say it like Charles Barkley. They're terrible.
Terrible.
They were horrible. That could be my winner and my loser right there. I mean, they sucked big time. Jude, give me a loser from last week. Who's the loser?
I don't know. I'm thinking Alabama laid an egg, even though they won. Man, 17-3 against South Florida. And I know you said South Florida had a good defense that was capable and could win, and especially being that they were at home. But I didn't really believe that. I thought Alabama was going to go in, especially off of, a big loss. I thought they were just going to come in and say, no, we're still a top 10 team. But no, they sure weren't, man. They went in and I think they won by 2 touchdowns. And I thought they were going to win by 5 touchdowns.
Is my audio better now?
Yep.
Okay. There we go. Just make sure. Yeah, that was a tough game last week for Alabama. Big letdown. Texas kind of had a letdown too, playing against Wyoming.
But they opened it up late.
Yeah, Wyoming's a good team, but Wyoming got away with. All right, so this is my conspiracy theory. So the black helicopters are surrounding us right now. Wyoming was the head official for the game is this guy I cannot stand, and every time he officiates a Texas game, he's got to be the focal point of the game. So he was there, and Wyoming got away with a tremendous amount of holding, like a tremendous amount. And once Texas was able to get a little separation, Wyoming couldn't play the huckabuck offense is what I like to call it, where they hold and they just draw out the game as long as they can. When they had to go toe-to-toe with Texas, they got smoked. They weren't able to do anything. So, but once again, you play in a big game against Alabama, turn around the next week. You don't play well at home. It's to be expected, right? After a big game, it's to be expected. Jude, you give me a loser. I'm going to give you my loser for the week, and it's not Oklahoma State. believe it or not. Not Oklahoma State. The big loser is Jacksonville State because they gave up 77 points to the Texas State Bobcats. Jackson State. Oh, my goodness. How in the hell do you give up 77 points? Jackson State, though. Big loser. All right, Jude, give me another winner from last week.
Another winner from last week. How about the Florida Gators?
Florida Gators. Wow.
Yep.
I mean, no kidding. I mean, they showed up and showed
They
out.
sure did.
I thought Billy Napier was done. And then I heard a stat about the Florida Gators in or Tennessee traveling to the swamp, and it was not good. I was like, oh my God, Tennessee's gonna lose this game. And they did.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was like 2001 or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been forever. All right. We got another co-host joining us. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna swoop over his icon real quick so I can quickly add him to the stream. Our next co-host. This is the longest-standing assistant to the president of the Doug Flutie fan club. He's the beast from the east, and he says, "Kids, eat your Flutie flakes." Please welcome to the show, Lindsey Coyle.
Is it my imagination or the intro's getting better every single week? That was something.
And
That sure was
I'm on
something. I love
fire. I wish I could. I need to work on my Boston accent, right? So I can go, kids, make sure you eat your Flutie flakes.
What's up, Lindsay?
Not bad. Yeah, hi. Wow. How are you, Jude?
I'm good, man.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I'm just trying to finish up working for the day.
Yeah, it sucks. All right. So Lindsay's here. Let's get some shout outs to some fans in the crowd. We got Power Stroke Jude saying hi. We got Bocce's Blankets and more. We got East Coast Ken stopping in and saying hi. We got Diabolical 58. And late to the show, Lindsay Coyle. How's it going, Lindsay? So we're in the winners and losers segment. Give me a winner from last week, Lindsay. True blue winner.
You mean besides Colorado?
No, they're fortunate. I don't know if that's a win.
I got to hand it to them. It doesn't have to be pretty to count, and they did a great job again of making sure they came out on top.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you. You pick them, we'll support it.
This is college football, not pro football. Pro football, it doesn't have to be pretty to count. Just has to be a W. For rankings, it's got to be pretty a little bit.
Well,
that is true.
They went down a position. They slid from 18 to 19, and they were in big trouble versus Colorado State. Had Colorado State not shot themselves in both feet and one of their arms, they'd have won that game. But
they showed some poise, though. They showed some poise, and
man, well, yeah, for 3 9/16 quarters or 15/16 or something. I mean, it was like they did everything but win the game, and then they just allow Colorado to come back and win.
I was really hoping, really hoping that the midfield handshake, that Prime would have taken off his hat and glasses and shook Norvell's hand.
Oh no! So Prime, I'll give Dion this. So Dion was very gracious in his win, and he could have been a jerk to Jay Norvell, but I think that Dion's learning on the fly as far as like coaching goes, and not that he's a bad coach or he doesn't know anything about football. It's just when you're the head coach, the expectation levels are a lot different. So I think I wouldn't say it was humility that he was showing, but he was definitely a good sport on the whole deal. He could have gone and been a total jackass to Jay Norvell, and Jay Norvell deserved every single bit of what would have happened. But Dion was the bigger man, and he went up there and he just looked like he was, I'm glad we won the game. Now we need to figure out what's going on, go back to work. So it was just it was a unique sight by Dion. It was good to see. So, all right, Lindsay, give me a loser from last week.
I'm gonna grab a drink real quick.
The biggest loser from last week, or just
the biggest loser from last week? All losers.
Well,
losers.
all the losers. Well, you guys were talking about the Gators when I first came on, right? So I mean, Tennessee clearly is one of the biggest losers from last week.
I think
Agreed.
that might be the only game I lost in the pick'em. I need to go back and look, but I never thought that Tennessee would have lost. And then I saw the stat they were talking about how poorly Tennessee does when they travel to the swamp in Florida. You know, the Florida Stadium.
Yep.
I was like, oh, they're going to lose this game. It's not even going to be close, and it wasn't. Florida came out and just walloped them handily. All right. Well, it's time to move on. We're in the first quarter. You know what that means? Is everybody ready for the first quarter? What's the first quarter? It's our favorite segment, and that means that's salute to the service academies. And, man, do we appreciate our troops. I'm telling you what, past, present, I can't thank you enough. This is so important for these people to be recognized because the sacrifices they make. These teams, these players, most of them are never going to see an NFL stadium from the field side. They're only going to see it from the stand side, but they're playing because they love the play. So our hats off to those service members. We thank them, past and present. With that said, let's get into the pick'em this week for the service academies. We're going to start off with the Merchant Marine Academy. Hopefully Lindsay's done his homework. Lindsay?
They didn't play last week, but they go in on Saturday against SUNY Maritime, and I'm feeling very good about them. I'm bullish on them all year long. And as I look at their schedule toward the game this weekend and their schedule going for the rest of the season, given how they've been playing so far, it's kind of difficult to see what that loss would be, unless they can't stay healthy or they lose a couple of key players. But I'm very keen on them, and we owe it all to the Merchant Marines and the folks coming out of the academy who are going to go into the Merchant Marine service to keep this world going around and keep us living in society the way we know it. Whether we know it or not, they're a key element in everything we do every day. So I'm going to go ahead and say they're going to win against SUNY Maritime this Saturday at noon.
You got a score in mind, prediction?
I'm thinking that they should do pretty well offensively. I'd give them 42 points and say their defense is going to keep SUNY Maritime to 21.
All right, we're going to swing on over to Friday night. Big matchup here. The Air Force Academy is traveling to
San Jose
CU Stadium in San Jose, California. And at 9:30 p.m. on the Fox Sports 1, we're going to get to see the Air Force Flying Falcons take on the San Jose Trojans. But Jude's going to say they're Spartans. So, Jude, give me a prediction on this game.
Air Force is a 6-point favorite, but I don't know where ESPN gets their analytics from, but according to their analytics, they feel that San Jose State has a 55% chance to win. I'm going to call steer manure on that one and say that Air Force is going to win 35-28. Close game, but they're going to win. San Jose State does have a good offense. They have a really good quarterback. Air Force, man, hopefully they can jump out strong like they did last weekend against Utah State, man. They beat the Aggies 39-21. They were up 22-0 at the end of the first quarter and 32-7 at halftime, and they just cruised the rest of the way. But if they can start off the way they started last week, I don't see anything. I don't see the Trojan Spartans, whatever we're going to call them. I don't see the San Jose State beating them this weekend.
Give me a hidden stat line that we're all going to see come this time next week. What's a hidden stat line from that Air Force San Jose State game?
The hidden stat line is going to be that Air Force will have 2 players crack 100 yards rushing. Quarterback, I don't know his first name, but I know his last name is Larriere, I believe, and they have a running back named Burke. His last name is Burke, and I think they will both be over 100 yards next weekend when we're talking about the game next week.
All right, nice. All right. So
I don't know how hidden that is. They only throw the ball 4 times a game. I don't know how hidden that is, but
look, it could be something as simple as they're going to have like 14 first downs. because they're going to dominate the time and they're going to dominate the time of possession. I mean,
Yep,
those are
very true.
those are like some hidden stat lines that like what are we going to see? Two players with multiple triple digit numbers. Good hidden stat lines. Calling the players out. That's a great analysis there. I really thought so. All right, so the Naval Academy is off again this weekend. So they'll resume next week. We might have our co-host back next week, maybe this week. I don't know. With that said, we're going to move on to my pick, and that's the Coast Guard Academy. And I'm going to bore you the tears off of you people tonight with some of this good information that I have found out about the Coast Guard Academy. So the Coast Guard Academy beat my college, Nichols College. They beat them 49-42. Now, remember, Coast Guard Academy took an L versus Nichols last year. This year, 49-42. And it was all Coast Guard Academy at the beginning, first half. They scored 28 unanswered points. Then Nichols came back late, seven points. And then the Coast Guard was able to fend them off to get the W. All right. Well, this week, they're taking on a really good team. And that's Springfield College from Springfield, Mass. I'm sure Lindsay's familiar with them. And Springfield was a 9-3 team in 2022, and they had a most dominant win versus the Coast Guard Academy, 49-6, and that was at Coast Guard Academy's stadium. So the Bearcats are going to have to travel to Springfield, Mass, take on those Massachusettsians, the Mass holes, is like we'd like to call them. Somewhere there's a Bostonian like, I tell you what.
No, they know it's true. There's no Bostonian worth of salt would argue with that.
It's not that big of a shithole. That is.
No, what happens is you call a Bostonian a masshole, they flip you off.
Oh, well, they say that if you say hello to them. All right. So some interesting details about Springfield, Mass. that Lindsay's not allowed to answer. What is Springfield, Massachusetts, or Springfield College best known for? What is it? There is a one thing that it is more recognized about than anything else on planet Earth, and it's a big deal.
The college admission standards are that you need a pen to get in.
Pulse.
Springfield, Mass. I don't know. Did Lisa Simpson go there? I don't know.
No, I mean you should know.
They're in Springfield, aren't they?
Yeah, you should know this one. This is a big one. I think Lindsay knows where I'm going with this one, right?
Wait, the college?
Yeah, the college is. This is a big deal. Everybody on planet Earth knows this. Even the little pygmies in New Guinea.
I don't know.
They know this fact.
I know very few people from Massachusetts even know the college exists. So we'll see where you're going with this one.
Would you like to?
Is it Brad Pitt?
No, it's not Brad.
Brad Pitt was a student body president from his junior year.
Anybody with a guess in the chat, you're more than welcome to answer. But I know.
Yeah, we should give a few minutes for everyone in the chat to guess.
All right,
I'm
gonna let y'all do that.
Tell me you Googled something without telling me you Googled something. Is it
Springfield College is best known as being 3,000 miles away from something that matters.
Oh, gee. You need a pen to get in. It's not close. That means it's not close to the best coast. And
it's in the same hemisphere as other important things.
So I'm gonna bestow y'all with a little knowledge here. Who is Springfield's most recognized alumni?
Homer Simpson?
No. Don Ho. I picked two. One is Don Ho. Anybody know who Don Ho is?
Oh yeah. Everyone knows Don Ho.
Ukulele guy from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then the second one is John Cena.
Oh.
All right, here you go. Baji says, I'm just confused. You need a pin and a bottle opener to get in.
I forgot the bottle opener.
Springfield. All right. So Springfield College is known as the birthplace of basketball. James A. Naismith, a Canadian, invented the game at Springfield College as an or not an alumni, but as a member of the faculty.
Well, I know that's where the Hall of Fame is.
Well, that's where the birthplace of basketball.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with him because if you got a pen and a bottle opener, you can do some damage in a bar fight.
You can put a hurting on somebody with that.
So I got to make my pick this week. I don't think Coast Guard Academy beats Springfield. I think they're going to lose this one, unfortunately. We're hoping for a better game. I'll say Springfield 35, Coast Guard Academy 28. All right. And that moves us over to the Army, as one from Boston would say, Army. Is that close enough?
That's very good.
Ruling from the Northeasterner here. And Army travels, this on Saturday at 11 a.m. They travel to JMA Wireless Dome in Syracuse, New York, to take on a really good Syracuse team. The Syracuse are known as the Orange. They're a great team. Army's not bad. The Vegas numbers on this one is Syracuse is favored by almost 2 touchdowns, 13.5 points. And the total points, if you want to go look at BetMGM, is 49.5. I think Army covers this score. I would take the under on this one. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I think there's going to be a lot of yards gained. But I think red zone touchdowns are going to be a premium. I think we're going to see a lot of field goals. I'm going to go with Syracuse to win this game, but only of a score of about 24 to Army 17. And I could see, like I said, I could see at least 5 field goals in this game. It's unfortunate, but Syracuse is coached by a coach named Dino Babers. Excellent coach. He believes in the fundamentals of football. That's blocking, tackling, conditioning. He believes in offense, running the ball, defense, playing smash mouth defense, and forcing you to play. Syracuse is a good team. To be honest with you, I don't know why they're not ranked right now. They should be ranked, but it's gonna be a good game. I can also see Army winning this game, but we're not talking. They're not gonna go and blow them out. This is gonna be a nail biter, close game here. So, with that said, we're gonna have, like I said, I think it's gonna be a score of like 24-17, something like that. Lots of field goals. What do you guys think? Anything else to add in our salute service? Well, once again, we got to thank our service members, past and present. Thank you very much for your service, and I hope you enjoyed the segment as always. Got to say,
this is my favorite segment of the week.
And we got to say hi to Adam from Small Town Machine Shop. I think that's what Adam's deal is. He's supporting the channel. He's a big fan of the Wide Right CFB. So we're coming up on the end of quarter number 1. Can you believe 15 minutes already went by that fast? Can you believe 25 minutes went by that fast? I mean, it just blows and goes. Fun. Still looking for another good sponsor for the segment, but we're going to go ahead and throw some love out to our number 1 fan. That's Bocce's Blankets and More. If you want to get a nice crocheted bocce ball or any kind of fancy crocheted gift, hit Bocce up on Instagram at Bocce's Blankets and More. Tip your waitress. I don't know. All right. You all ready to move quarter number 2? We get to talk a little bit more college football.
Sure.
Ready.
We're actually going to be on time. We're actually early. I'll get over here and I'll get my notes ready. So we're going to do things a little bit different in quarter number 2 this time. I'm going to ask you about some teams because I printed off who has what. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll start off first with Hunter. Hunter, we're going to pick at the Sun Belt. Now, let me throw this little nugget of information out there. You want a little nugget of information? Or maybe let's think about this for a second. Jude, would you believe me of the strength of the Sun Belt Conference at the beginning of the season?
Would I believe you if the strength was
if I said the Sun Belt, if the Sun Belt Conference was a power conference, would you believe me?
No.
Well, you're going to need to believe me because last week the University of South Alabama beat Oklahoma State.
It's true.
Texas State beat Baylor.
It's true too.
James Madison beat Virginia.
Yes,
Power
they're
Conference.
beating Power Five schools.
All right. So according to Hunter, Georgia State is going to lose to Coastal Carolina. This game's going on right now. Georgia State's leading 20-10 this conference game. On Saturday, he's got Western Kentucky beating Troy, and I think he's mistaken on that one. I think he meant to say that he's got Troy beating Western Kentucky. The upset of the week. Y'all want to hear the upset of the week that Hunter has picked? And this is all of college football he picked. He has Virginia Tech losing to Marshall at Jones C. Edwards Stadium in Huntington, West Virginia. It's a big deal. Marshall's a really good team, too. And Virginia Tech, maybe not so good. All right, he's got Georgia Southern beating Ball State. He's got Texas A&M Commerce losing to Old Dominion. Now, you want to hear a fun fact? I have a player, current college football player, on the Texas A&M Commerce team. And we're going to try to get him on the show later in the season. But in order to do that, we got to get to 50 subscribers. We're only at 46 right now. So, got to get to 50 if you want to see some big interviews. We got big interviews waiting in the wings. All right, we got Central Michigan traveling to Mobile, Alabama to take a whooping from the University of South Alabama. University of South Alabama might be the most powerful team in the conference, and that's saying a lot because this is a conference that's got James Madison, Texas State, Troy, App State, loaded conference. All right.
They got some good schools. Appalachian State's, man, they're sneaky good, man. I don't think the record's showing it, but they're always a well-coached, very disciplined football team.
Well, check this out. So that's my next game we're going to talk about. App State's got to travel to Laramie, Wyoming, and take on the Wyoming Cowboys, who gave the University of Texas all it wanted last Saturday, without a doubt. And that's going to be a good game. But then we have later with the University of Southern Mississippi takes on Arkansas State. Arkansas State stood up last week, and they showed they wanted to play for their coach, and they beat Stony Brook handily. So congratulations to Arkansas State. This week, Southern Miss is going to come in there and slap them around, though. And this is in Jonesboro, Arkansas. So we'll see what happens. All right. Then we have those Texas State Bobcats. They're playing at 6 p.m. from Bobcat Stadium in San Marcos, Texas, and they're going to take on the Nevada Wolfpack. And that's not going to be an easy game. Nevada was a pretty decent team last week. They hung in there for a good long while. So it's not going to be an easy game. Then we have Buffalo traveling to Cajun Field in Lafayette, Louisiana to take on the Raging Cajuns, University of Louisiana. Hunter has University of Louisiana winning handily. And then on our final Sunbelt game of the day, we got James Madison traveling to Utah, Maverick Stadium in Logan, Utah, to take on the Utah State Aggies, and he's got James Madison winning. James Madison might be one of the best teams in the Sunbelt. Sunbelt, no joke. Don't sleep on the Sunbelt. We're good on the Sunbelt? Did we cover it properly?
I'd say so.
Yep, I would say we did.
I'm looking for a group approval here. All right. So, Jude's conference of choice is going to be heavily picked through this week because let's say about 40% of the games of the week generate from the Pac-12. So, without picking a game of the week, Jude, does Arizona, well, let me rephrase this better. Does Stanford get off the couch and beat Arizona this week at 6 p.m.
No,
on the
they
Pac-12
don't. Network
from Stanford Stadium? Did we miss a massive loser from last week here?
Yeah.
Does anybody want to talk about this? That
I don't know how
Joey
they
Preciado. Where's Joey? Where's Joey?
Where's
Preciado
Joey
at?
Preciado when you need him?
Where's Joey? Yeah, we need Joey here. I mean, I think
Stanford
Joey's
losing
walking
to Sac
around.
State.
Yeah, the guy that's the coach of Stanford was the coach of Sac State last year. He should have stayed. I think Stanford. I think Stanford's a dumpster fire. There's a reason why David Shaw left that school. He was an alumni. He's one of their longest tenured employees, longest coach there, and he left that place because Stanford doesn't value athletics, and until they do, Stanford's going to be a cellar dweller of college sports, in my opinion. Jude, I don't know if you share the same opinion as I do, but we're allowed to be opinionated here.
Them and Cal, man, they're both the same. They're both cross town for each other, and neither one of them care about college athletics.
I mean, then why have it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, is that so you can get, kids' educations? I mean, like part of it. I think there's a correlation between a competitive sports team and good enrollment. I think you have to have competitive sports there. It makes like there's some pride in attending a school. If they don't think they should have competitive sports, then they should stop playing it.
I don't know how they.
I thought Stanford's effort last week was embarrassing.
Yet Stanford and Cal. I mean, as just everything we're saying about them, I don't get how they still every now and again, pull a rabbit out of the hat. Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, John Elway, Andrew Luck. Why aren't these guys going to SC or Notre Dame or Texas or Bama?
But I think they were a better team. Well, Andrew Luck went to Stanford because that's who offered him. He was like a 3-star recruit out of Houston. Nobody knew who he was.
His dad was the head coach at was a coach at West Virginia. He could have went there.
He was the athletic director.
Athletic director. That's what it was. Yeah.
Andrew Luck is smarter than the collective student body of West Virginia.
You're probably right about that.
All right, Jude. So that brings me to this question. I'm gonna combo 2 games at one time. I'm gonna give you a what's more likely. Does the quarterback from Washington, does he throw up better Heisman numbers this weekend than the quarterback from USC? We're talking about Michael Penix Jr. versus Caleb Williams. Cal takes on Washington at 9:30 p.m. my time from Husky Stadium in Seattle, Washington. And USC takes on Arizona State from Mountain America Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Who of the Heisman frontrunner quarterbacks has the better game on Saturday? What do you got, Jude?
Man, considering their opponents, I think they're both going to put up Tech Mobile, numbers. But if I had to bet, I'd probably say Penix Jr. because he's playing at home. But Caleb Williams is only going to play the first half. They're going to be up 48-0 at halftime.
All right. Well, so we're going to go, how they rank like boxers pound for pound. We're gonna have to put like a scale of like Caleb Williams' output per quarter. Like Heisman per quarter. So because like Michael Penix, he's gonna have to play 4 quarters, right? Because I'm sure that they're gonna start padding some stats with him because it's a whole, like at this point, like when you play down teams, you need to beat the life out of them if you want this guy to win a national or a Heisman Trophy. So. Caleb Williams may only play 17 quarters this season, but he'll have to have Heisman's per quarter level play. So I thought it was funny. All right.
I agree.
There's a guy to my right or left, depending on how you're looking at the screen. That looks like he might have something to say about the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Real quick, look at Can I say something real quick about the Pac-12?
Yeah. Go ahead.
We're about to disband, or the conference isn't going to be around anymore. We're in week 4 of college football, and the 6 games in the Pac-12, ABC, Fox, Pac-12 for Stanford, Arizona, Fox, and ESPN. I mean, they're getting some national coverage. If they would have got this kind of coverage every year, usually there's 4 games on the Pac-12 network, and maybe a Friday game too, because if they were doing that instead of doing Thursdays, they were doing Fridays for a while. They might still be doing Fridays, but man, if kids would want to come to these schools. It doesn't matter if they were had to stay up till midnight Eastern time to see the start of a game. If they got this kind of national coverage at all, for the last 10 years, I don't think they'd be disbanding right now. I think they'd be thriving.
Well, it falls back to they should have taken Texas Tech. All right.
Yeah. 8 teams ranked. Wow.
Lindsay, I'm gonna only ask you the teams that aren't in our college football pick'em because we have few out of this conference.
Okay.
All right. Game number 1. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Tomorrow night, North Carolina State travels to Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia to be exact. Scott Stadium as the North Carolina State Wolfpack takes on the Cavaliers of University of Virginia. Tell me what you think here, Lindsay.
I thought this one going in was kind of a toss-up, but the more I looked into it, I think that the edge would go to NC State. I like the way they put together the game plan, and I think they got the offense to pull this one off.
All right. I'm going to get your opinion on Army versus Syracuse. What do you think on this one?
not to throw shade on Army, but this is going to be a backhanded compliment. I like Army in this game only because I don't like Syracuse. So I think Army's going to pull out the win. They just got it put together that much better than Syracuse does. Syracuse is kind of limping around right now. Until they get it together, I got to give this one to Army.
All right. So Hunter has this game picked as his upset of the week, and he's got the Hokies from Virginia Tech traveling to Jones C. Edwards Stadium in Huntington, West Virginia, to take on the Thundering Herd. Who do you got in this game?
I can't say I disagree with Hunter on this one. I got to side with him.
Oh, you're on mute. Oh, okay. Oh.
Am I?
No, I can hear you.
All right.
Right?
No,
I have to agree with Hunter. I think that he picked this one well. I don't see a reason why Virginia Tech would lose this one. They're going with a strong game plan. I was never really that bullish on Marshall to begin with, so I don't have to go with Virginia Tech and agree with Hunter.
Well, he has got Marshall winning this game, not Virginia.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Virginia Tech won this game. No, I don't agree with Hunter.
All right. All right, Lindsay, from Pratt and Whitney Stadium in East Hartford, Connecticut. He's got the number 18 Duke Blue Devils traveling to the UConn Huskies to take at 2:30 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. Who do you got on this game?
Well, it's a good thing UConn is playing at their home stadium, so they don't have far to go to lick their wounds after they lose to Duke. I don't see this one being very close at all. I think it's going to be a kind of a blowout handily. And as much as I like UConn's program, and I do like their athletics program in general, Duke has it all over them in the football program this year. So it's all Duke on this one.
All right. At 2:30 p.m. on ESPN2, that'd be the Deuce. We have the number 20, the University of Miami, the Hurricanes, whose mascot is what? I'll let everybody guess that one. I know what it is. Jude knows what it is. I don't know if Lindsay knows what it is. But they're taking on, they're traveling to Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That'd be where the Eagles play. And they're taking on the Temple Owls. Now, the Temple Owls is coached by one Stan Drayton, who I am very high on, but I'm going to get Lindsay's opinion on this game. Lindsay, who wins this game? Miami and Temple.
Well, have you ever seen an owl try to fly in a hurricane? No one has. They don't. So I think they have a hard time after Miami blows in here, kicks their ass, and blows on back out and wins handily.
We will take that in spades, right? All right.
Yeah.
If anybody knows what the name of the Miami mascot is, put it in the chat. All right, Lindsay, your Boston College Eagles, who almost
was so close,
beat the Florida State Seminoles last week. They traveled to Cardinal Stadium in
And
Louisville, Kentucky, to take on the Louisville Cardinals.
Victories.
I mean, he can repeat it if he wants to. It was an epic. It involved wrinkles on something, but
they gave it a good try. They're all friends afterwards.
All right. What do you got in this BC Louisville game? Because we're gonna splash into halftime, and that's fine. I'm good with that. In fact, we're probably gonna jump into the third quarter with this one. Go ahead, Lindsay. What do you got?
Well, Boston
we got to
College
count
is
on the
gonna...
dog's ball sack this week. I'm just repeating what was spoken word. That was like, I may have paraphrased it a tad. And I don't mean tad, I mean lightly. Like maybe I forgot the or the
I mean, we can recount the entire thread if we wanted to.
No, it's all right. That's all right.
You sure? I mean, I got it right in front of me.
I just want a winner between BC and Louisville.
All right. Well, Boston College is going to put the lose in Louisville as they go in and lose to Louisville in this one. I wish I felt better about BC this year, but I don't. And I think that our previous text thread last week kind of proves that.
right. I need you to. We got about 15 seconds till halftime. So, Lindsay, give me your thoughts on Georgia Tech traveling to Allegiance Federal Credit Union Stadium in North Carolina to take on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. What do you got on this game?
Wake Forest doesn't need home field advantage to win this one, but it's nice that they have it because it'll give their fans something to root for in person. They're going to beat Georgia Tech handily. I'd expect a pretty wide spread on this one.
All right. And then finally, our final ACC game of the day is a big one. The number 17 North Carolina Tar Heels travel to, I'm not going to say the stadium, to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to take on the Pitt Panthers. What do we got in this game?
North Carolina's on a roll. I like what they did last week, and I see them continuing on that this week in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to say North Carolina for the win on this one.
For the win, FTW, for the win. All right. That concludes the first half. We're officially at halftime. And I've done everything I can to derail this program today.
You know, not to harp on this, and certainly it's I don't want to cross any boundaries, but I do know for a fact that Bocce, more than anyone, would love to know about that text thread that was sent last week.
All right, I tell you what,
she could
if
appreciate.
You can guess my game that does not matter this week. We will tell the story in overtime. We can't tell it right now. We're going to tell it in overtime.
Oh, the odds are stacked against me on this one.
Do we both get a guess?
Yes, I'll give you all each 2 guesses.
Oh,
and I told Jude I was going to give him. I was going to give him a tiny bit
hint
of
at
information.
halftime.
A hint at halftime. All right.
okay.
So the team the game that I'm picking, the home team has a color in their uniform, and that color is a gold color. And I'm not going to give him any more information. Home team has gold in their color. Well, I just eliminated 50% of the teams that are playing on Saturday.
As a clarifying question, though, does that include the helmet?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't tell you the percentage of gold.
True.
Gold.
True. It could have been, as they were painting the helmet, a guy accidentally splattered some gold on one guy's helmet. And
I mean, he could have been playing slots at the casino and splashed his winnings on the helmet. You don't know. But I eliminated 50% of the teams. But I told him it was the home team. So
okay.
Well,
now we got Bocce in great anticipation down here. So
hey, I gotta keep at least one person watching the whole time. And that's our game that does not matter. Game that does not matter. All right, so we got our Heisman watch. I'm gonna throw out 4 names. We're gonna talk about those 4 names, and they're the four biggest names right now in college football. 1 being Caleb Williams, 2 being Michael Penix Jr., 3 being Quinn Ewers, and 4 being Shedeur Sanders. I think they're the 4 biggest names. One of these, actually 2 guys, haven't even thrown an interception yet this year. And one guy has led his team from the mid-tier of college football rankings to the top 5. So, Jude, somebody other than Caleb Williams, who do you think is the second best chance to win the Heisman other than Caleb Williams?
Right now, I'd have to go with Michael Penix Jr. He's putting up Caleb Williams type numbers, and that offense is just built to put points on the board. So I'd have to go with him.
All right, Lindsay, same question, same guy. Other than Caleb Williams, who, in your opinion, has the best chance to win the Heisman Trophy?
Quinn Ewers from UT. He has been outstanding. I love how he has been developing. And when he hit the ground running, literally and figuratively this year, I don't see that changing as long as your game plan stays solid and he stays healthy.
All right, I'd love to agree with both of you guys, but I'm taking Caleb Williams to win the Heisman this year. He's going to be
cheater.
Aside from Jaden Daniels, who will win the Heisman Trophy?
Yeah. Hey, look, you know what? The team that scores the most points always wins the game. I'm just going to tell you that. All right, coaching hot seat. Let's get to it. We all know who's on the coaching hot seat this week, and he still has the job only because he has 7 days to respond to him being fired. And that's Michigan State's head coach, Mel Tucker. I think he deserved to be fired. You're the leader of men. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard. And whether it's right or wrong, an inappropriate relationship or a side relationship, are just as bad. When you're the head coach of a college football team, you got to walk the walk. And that applies to a lot of coaches. And I'm sure a lot of coaches get away with improprieties that we don't know about. But, Mel Tucker got caught, and he deserves this. This is the risk you take. Most of your contracts for college football coach have something called like moral turpitude, which means that if you do something that embarrasses or brings disgrace to the university, they can fire your ass. And guess what Michigan State's going to do? They're going to save some money, and they're going to fire his ass. But it's good for the assistant coach on the team. Gives him a chance to give an interim type job, and maybe it'll parlay him into a job in the future, possibly the Michigan State job. And then we'll get to a college football coaching legend come back and help be an advisor for the coach. So Mel Tucker, hot seat. He's fired. He's got 7 days, but he's going to be fired. Doesn't matter. Any other coaching hot seat coaches that we can think of? Lindsay.
I mean, he's in the biggest hot water that you can be in this week.
I've got one.
Who?
Tony Elliott from the University of Virginia. I think Tony Elliott's time at UVA is limited.
Well, they want Rich Rod back, don't they? What did you think?
That'd be West Virginia, and right now West WVU beat Pitt.
Oh, I thought you said West Virginia. I'm sorry.
No, the University of Virginia, the Cavalier.
What about, I don't know, man, if he loses this weekend, that's 2 in a row, and in a place like this, losing 2 in a row.
And it would only be 1 in a row. He didn't lose last week.
Oh, that's funny.
That's one of our games of the week. If you're waiting for Alabama and Ole Miss, that's one of our games, one of our head-to-head pick'ems. So I'm not going to let Jude ruin the damn stream tonight being negative like that. And then my final coach, I'm always going to say this, as long as Butch Jones is a college football coach, somebody's going to want to fire him. He's got a very punchable face. If he is here, I just like line up. You know what I mean? Like that's a good idea. We ought to find a punching bag and put Butch Jones's face on there so everybody can punch a punching bag that looks like Butch Jones. He's got that real like asshole-ish quality about his face, and he's got like a flat top haircut, which just, you know what I mean? You just want to. He could be a hell of a nice guy. I'm over here talking shit about him. He could also be a hell of a good fighter and just whoop the 100% of my butt too. So you never know.
I don't know, a name like Butch, man. It sounds like he could be tough.
Be tough or phony tough. I don't know. All right, so Hunter's Georgia State and South Alabama, or not South Alabama, but Coastal Carolina games not looking promising. The Georgia State, they look like Panthers, is handily beating Coastal Carolina 27-10 at the start of the fourth quarter. Not looking good, too good. For Power Stroke Jude, though, we're in the third quarter, and the New York Giants are covering the spread versus the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers are driving.
Yep. They got a way to go. They better start the car. So,
man,
let's move on.
Go ahead.
We're going to move on over to the third quarter, and we're just going to pick up with our teams, our pick'em here. But I'm going to tell you a quick story. Y'all want a quick story? It'll only take a second. So one of our pick'em games this week, let me go ahead and transition us over to the third quarter, wherever it is. And I'm assuming that Jude's running the chat perfectly.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Good deal. All right. So there's a rivalry game that's happening this week. Would anybody like to guess the name of this rivalry game?
A rivalry game that is happening
this weekend. There's a rivalry game that's happening this weekend.
Man, this early in the season?
Oh, yeah. So the Southern Methodist University and the Texas Christian University have a game.
Oh,
That'd be
okay.
SMU versus TCU. It's called the Iron Skillet game. And it's been happening since the dawn of time. I mean, literally the dawn of time. The first meeting was October 18th, 1915. TCU won the game 43-0. And last year, TCU beat SMU 42-34. Remember, TCU played for the College Football National Championship. So, they showed up at least. So they called this game the Iron Skillet game. Now, there's two different versions of why they call it the Iron Skillet game. In recent years, SMU's website has claimed the following: that TCU and the SMU fans began a tradition back in 1946. During the pregame festivities, an SMU fan was frying up some frog legs, because they're the Horned Frogs, TCU is. And as a joke before a game, the TCU fan, seeing this desecration of the frog, went over and told him that eating frog legs was going way beyond the rivalry, and that they should let the game decide who gets the skillet and the frog legs. SMU won that game, and the skillet and the frog legs went to SMU. The tradition eventually spilled over into the actual game, and it's now called the Iron Skillet Bowl or Iron Skillet game, and the Iron Skillet's actually passed to the other team. According to TCU, a magazine, I guess the school magazine, the first battle for the Iron Skillet occurred November 30th, 1946, year of our Lord. And this game boomed after World War II. The weeks prior to the game, the SMU Student Council proposed the idea of presenting the trophy to the winning team. TCU accepted that idea, and the two schools' governing bodies met in Dallas to decide how to set up the rules for the traveling trophy, which became the Iron Skillet, so forth and so on. All right. So this game has produced a big-time result. In 1935, this game determined who was going to be one half of the Rose Bowl. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow.
The winner of this SMU-TCU game, and it was SMU. So in our all-time results here is TCU leads the series 52-42 with 7 ties. And unfortunately, TCU had to forfeit the 1918 game for scandalous reasons. So that's our big story of the week. We're going to hop back into our regular college football segment. But when we're doing our college pick'em here in the fourth quarter, you're going to want to remember this Iron Skillet game. I'm telling you.
That's very cool.
All right.
Very, very cool.
Great big story of the day. All right. We're going to jump over to Jude's favorite conference, and that'd be the Mountain West Conference. Would you agree that's your favorite conference? No, of course it is.
It's going to be starting next year.
See, we have more of these damn teams. All right. So we already got Jude's opinion on one Mountain West game, because he picked the Air Force Academy to beat the Spartans from San Jose State University. Let's talk about another San Diego State University as they host the Boise State Cowboys. I think it's the Cowboys, right? Broncos. That's what they are.
Yeah, the Broncos.
From Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, California. If you've ever seen the Anchorman, what does Ron Burgundy say? San Diego is the German translation for a... Yes. All right, there we go. What are your thoughts on Boise State at San Diego State, Jude?
Even though Boise State comes in...
And this is tomorrow night at 9:30, so this is a late game. 7:30 Jude time, 9:30 Lindsay night time, 10:30 on the East Coast.
Now, even though Boise State comes in with a losing record at 1-2, San Diego State is playing good football, considering, who they have to go up against in recruiting, out here on the West Coast. They're 2-2. I'm going to have to go with Boise State to even their record up and put San Diego State in the losing column. Boise State's a 6.5-point dog, but I see them winning by 14 points.
All right. On Saturday at 2:30 p.m. from Warren McGurk Alumni Stadium in Amherst, Massachusetts, the University of New Mexico takes on the University of Massachusetts. Who do you got, Jude?
I'm going to go with the Minutemen. 17-14.
17. We'll take it. All right. At 6 p.m., the Colorado State Rams look to enact some revenge against Montana State University at 6 p.m. from Johnny Red Floyd Stadium in Murfreesboro. That would be Middle Tennessee State. I don't know why I said Montana State. From Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And Jude recently met a resident of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Who do you got in this game, Jude?
Wow. Considering, I don't know, man, as well as they played, I feel like this is a trap game. They played well last week, but did they blow their load? I'm going to take Middle Tennessee. The Middle Tennessee, is it state or just Middle Tennessee? Well, I'm going to take the Blue Raiders to beat the Rams 28-21.
Nice. Like it. All right. Hunter already picked this game once tonight. App State at Wyoming, 6 p.m. CBS Sports Network from Jonah Field at War Memorial Stadium, Laramie, Wyoming. Who do you got in this game, Jude?
I'm going to have to go with the Cowboys. I know Appalachian State's a very tough team, but I think the Cowboys are a tough out, and they're playing at home. They came off a good game against Texas. They let it get away from them, but it wasn't the kind of good game that Colorado State played, where now they're going to be like nothing left in the tank. I think now they got something to prove. They're a little bit upset. They want to prove that last week wasn't a fluke, for the first 2.5 quarters of the game.
And there are still plenty of $13 tickets available.
All right.
All right, Jude. Yep. At 6 p.m. from San Marcos, Texas, the University of Nevada travels to take on the Bobcat from Texas State University. Who do you got in this game, Jude? Hunter already picked the Bobcats to win by a lot.
Yeah, Texas State's not going to lose to Nevada. If I had to figure, I'm going to take Texas State, and I'm going to take them to win by 3 touchdowns.
All right. Later on in the evening, James Madison University travels across the country to take on the Utah State University. That'd be the Aggie. Who do you got in this game, Jude?
Oh, man, James Madison, 3-0. They're playing really, really good football. I can't believe that ESPN's analytics have them as only a 41.9% chance to win. They are a favorite, by 5.5 points. That's why I don't get ESPN's analytics. But I'm going to take the James Madison Dukes to win 31-21.
All right, in a game with a lot of U's in it, University of Nevada, Las Vegas travels to El Paso to take on the University of Texas at El Paso. Jude, if there was a game that shouldn't be on television, this is probably the one. But this is not my game. That doesn't matter. Although it should be, this is not my game. And UNLV had a big win last week. Jude, what do you think? Quickly, what do you think about this UNLV UTEP game?
I think UNLV is going to win. I think they're going to win 24-10.
All right. Yeah, UTEP's terrible. They lost to the Daughters of the Poor and Weak earlier this year. So, all right. At 9:30 p.m. on CBS Sports Network from Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California, the Kent State, whatever they are, I think the Golden Flashes or something like that, travels to take on the Fresno State Bulldogs. What do you got in this game, Jude?
Man, this game is not going to be close. Fresno State 3-0, Kent State Golden Flashes 1-2, and it's not because of their records, but it's just because Fresno State is going to give them all they can possibly handle, and they will be ranked in the top 25 after this game. I'm going to say Fresno State covers the 27.5 point spread and wins 49-14.
All right. Final Mountain West game of the night at about 4 o'clock in the morning, somebody's time. New Mexico State University travels to Clarence TC Ching Athletics Complex in Honolulu, Hawaii to take on the Hawaii Warrior Rainbows. Who do you got in this game, Jude?
This is actually what my game of the week was. And a week mean WEAK. I'm going to take New Mexico to stun the 3-point favorite Hawaii Rainbows Warriors.
I don't think it's a stun. I think it's just expected. All right. We're a little bit behind right now. We're gonna have to pick up the pace. Jude, or Lindsay, I'm very sorry, but we will have to pick up the pace. Oh, we already got all your teams. Now it's down to just mine and Hunter's. I don't even have to apologize to Lindsay. I rescind my apology, Lindsay.
Okay.
Friday night, we have Wisconsin traveling to West Lafayette, Indiana, to take on Purdue. I picked Purdue. I don't know why I continue to pick Purdue. It's like a stub a toe here every week. So I'm taking Purdue one more time. If they lose this week, not picking them again. On Saturday, we have Rutgers traveling to Michigan. I think this will be a little bit closer game than what people think. I think Rutgers keeps it within 2 touchdowns, but Michigan's going to pull off the W. They're the number 2 team in the nation. They're going to play like it. Later on in the day, from Champaign, Illinois, FAU travels, that'd be Florida Atlantic University, travels to Illinois to take on Brett Bielema and the Illinois Fighting Illini. I don't know what a Fighting Illini looks like, but we're going to get to see it on Saturday because they're going to stomp a mud hole in FAU. And in a game, this is a no-brainer. This would be like the no-brainer pick of a lifetime. Maryland travels to Michigan State. I'm taking Maryland. I'm not picking Michigan State for a while. Later on in the day, we have Louisiana Tech travels to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers. I think the Cornhuskers win by a lot. All right. I can't pick the next 2 games out of the Big Ten because they're going to be in our fourth quarter pick'em contest. But we have Akron traveling to Bloomington, Indiana to take on the Indiana Hoosiers at Memorial Stadium. I have Indiana winning this game. And then call it the nightcap on the Big Ten, but at 6:30 p.m. from Ryan Field in Evanston, Illinois, we have the Minnesota Golden Gophers taking on the Northwestern Wildcats. I think Minnesota wins this game. It's not going to be a big flashy score. This is going to be an efficient win. We're looking 17-10. All right, and then finally, from the Big 12 Conference, or as Hunter likes to call it, the Little 12, we have the number, I think they're 15, Oklahoma Sooners. They're taking on the Cincinnati Bearcats at 11. Oklahoma's going to win this game by the state of California. This is not going to be a close game. They're going to blow out Cincinnati. If you want to go and put money on this game, I would say take the over. Take the way over. Oklahoma may score points for both teams. Yeah. Right now, it's not looking good, Jude. You may have to make another bet tomorrow morning. I'm just saying.
I may have to.
All right, in a sneaky game of the week, this is a sneaky game of the week. If you've got time at 2:30 p.m. on ESPN, you need to watch BYU take on Kansas. BYU beat Arkansas last week. Does anybody? And they beat Arkansas in Fayette Nam. So if you want to watch a sneaky good game, this is going to have a lot of offense in it. BYU is no joke, and Kansas is no joke. This is going to be a big, big game. Not a lot of people are real high on this one. But if you like offense, this is going to be the game for you to watch. Another sneaky good game, and I actually coached a kid that caught a touchdown for the Texas Tech Red Raiders in week number 1. Texas Tech travels to Morgantown, West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers. This is going to be another good game. Hunter has West Virginia winning this game, but not by a lot. And this is going to be a lot of points. All right. In an absolute snoozer of a game, and I can't believe that. I don't even know if Sam Houston State scored any actual offensive points this year, but Sam Houston State travels to Houston to take on the Cougars, and I got nothing to say about the Cougars. Good, so Sam Houston State will lose this game, but not by a lot. And Hunter has picked Houston as well. At 6:30 p.m. Eastern, or 6:30 at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. The Texas Longhorns travel that long drive up I-35 to take on the Baylor Bears. Hunter's got Texas winning. I think Texas is a rebound game this week. They win this game by a lot more than what people think. Hunter's got them picked. And then in the nightcap for the Big 12, UCF travels to Bill Snyder Family Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas to take on those KSU Wildcats. And I think UCF gets smashed. K-State is pissed from last week, dropping a big game to Missouri. I think that they reenact some revenge. They're going to win by 10 points. And that covers it. And we're just a tiny bit under the third quarter. So let's transition in the fourth quarter, and let's talk about games that matter. Y'all ready to talk about some games that matter, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Number one, numero uno. Anything else? We got any other one numbers here? The primo game of the week's here at 11 a.m. on ABC. The Florida State Seminoles travel to Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, to take on the Clemson Wildcats, or whatever they are. I don't know what they are. Jude, who do you got? Florida State and Clemson.
Florida State.
Got any so the spread is 2.5 points. Florida State is favored by, and the total points on this is 55.5. So the old Casadich here, he picked Florida State to cover. I'm taking the over. FSU wins this game outright. What you got, Jude? What do you think? You think same thing?
Yeah, FSU wins the game outright. They cover the spread, and I was going to go with the under.
Right.
I don't think
What
this is going to have much for them, so I'm going to take the under.
All right, Lindsay, what do you got here, bud?
No, I'll take the over and say the Florida State wins outright.
All right. Very precarious picks there. I know it's a very challenging game. All right, we talked about it in our halftime show. My Little Ponies, the Mustangs from Southern Methodist University. I got a tongue tied here. Southern Methodist University take on the Horned Frogs from TCU from Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. So the point spread on this one, it's 62.5 total points, and they have TCU favored by 6.5. What do you got on this one, Lindsay?
Yeah, TCU will win this one outright. They're going to cover it, no problem. I don't see this one being a very close game at all.
All right, Jude, what do you think about My Little Ponies versus those cooked Horned Frog legs?
Oh, I think TCU is going to cover. They're going to be 3-1 after the week, and possibly ranked again in the top 25. And every time they win this year, it's just going to be more impressive that Colorado went into TCU and won that game.
All right. Well, I'm gonna dash everybody's dreams here and hope SMU is gonna cover this. This is gonna be a close game. I would definitely take the over. They're gonna score more than 62.5 points. It's gonna be a fun and gun slugfest. They're gonna sling the rock all over the ballpark. TCU's gonna win this game outright, but you got to pick SMU to cover, and you want to take the over. I don't think TCU is that great of a team. I'd like to agree with Jude, but I just can't on this one. Speaking of Colorado, the number 19 Colorado Buffaloes travel to Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon to take on the number 10 Oregon Duck. Jude, you're the Pac-12 guy, so I'll have you go last. Lindsay, what do you think on this game? Does Colorado show up and cover the 20.5 point spread, and do they go exceed the 70.5 point total here?
They cover. But I'm going to take the under on this one. I've been looking forward to this game because it's going to be a shootout. I can't wait to see how Colorado plays an opponent as good as the Ducks on this one.
All right. I'm going to let you go last. Jude, go last on this one because he is the resident Dion homer.
I got a lot of homer for a lot of guys. Dion, Kiff, Pete Carroll, even though he's in.
And they say such great things about you too, so it's mutual.
Yeah. You're their favorite YouTube channel to watch, dude. They told me.
That. Awesome.
All right, so I'm gonna throw you a shocker because I haven't picked Colorado hardly at all. I'm not a big Colorado guy. Not because I don't like Coach Prime. I'm not big on the school in general. I've never been a big Colorado guy. But I'm going to throw them some love. Colorado's going to cover the 20.5 points. No way that Oregon's going to win by that much. And it's not because Colorado is that good. It's just I think that Oregon's is like a trap game almost. Oregon's just not going to play that well. But I am going to take the over. I think we're going to see a ton of points this week. And then Oregon's going to win this game outright. Colorado suffers its first loss. Oregon's defense is pretty good. Their offense is really starting to look good. Like I said, lots of points scored here, but Colorado is going to cover that 20.5 points. There's no way that the Buffs give up that much points. With or without Travis Hunter, they will be ready to play. Jude? You're the Pac-12 homer. Let's hear it.
Man, my ultimate bet my left kidney if I had to gamble surefire pick of the week is to take the over on this game. What'd you say it was 70, right?
70.5.
70.5. Yeah. That take the over. They're gonna hit 90.
Wow.
Colorado will cover the spread. And in my upset of the week, and also corrections and retractions, we keep saying Colorado. I believe they have officially changed their name to Team Prime, but Team Prime, in my upset of the week, will win outright and set up the game of the century, or at least the game of the early part of this year, as they host an undefeated USC team next week in Colorado.
All right, we have to talk about this for a second, Jude. I just want to see where you're coming from here. So you're going to build up Colorado that big, and then next week you're going to take USC like 193-3, right? I mean, like, is that what we're looking at here? Is that what we're aiming for?
You really think that they'll score 3 against us?
All right. 2. All right, just making sure. All right, Jude's calling it the Buffs with the outright win to set up the game with the Centurion. I don't know. I just got to have a laugh here.
You're going to have ESPN Game Day. You're going to have Fox Sports. I mean, everyone's going to be in Boulder next week. But that Colorado has to show up. I am so bummed out about Travis Hunter, man. Probably more than I'm bummed. I'm more bummed out about Trayvon Diggs. But man, I'm just bummed out about Travis Hunter because.
All right, Travis Hunter is a good player, but here's the problem: they cannot continue to run him out there like that. All you do is you just increase
100 plays a week is crazy.
Yeah, you just increase the chances of him getting injured. All right, here we go. At 2:30 p.m. on Fox, the number 22 UCLA Bruins travel to Utah to take on the number 11 Utah Utes. Jude, we already talked about this game. America wants to know. This game is total to have 52.5 points, and they get the Utes favored by 5.5. Who do you got on this one, Jude?
I got the Utes to cover. UCLA is showing me something this year that I didn't expect to see from them, but I don't think they can go into it. I don't think they can play Utah. I'll take Utah to cover, and I'll take the over.
All right, Lindsay. Utah is favored by 5.5 points, and the over/under is 52.5. What do you got?
I'll take the Utes to cover, and I'll take the over on this one too.
All right. So when I reach into my crystal ball and I look, I have the Utes covering on this one. They're going to cover the 5.5, but I'm taking the under.
Oh,
and I'm thinking the Utes win this one outright, but not a lot of points scored in this game. It's going to be one of those running defensive juggernaut punches in the face. All right, so this is a perfect time since Jude's not here. We're just going to go into our next game here, and that'd be the. Look, he's back. We can.
Sorry about that
one. Since Jude is a resident homer of former USC. At 2:30 p.m. on CBS, the number 15 Ole Miss Rebels travel to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to take at Bryant-Denny Stadium to take on the number 13 Alabama Crimson Tide. Total points in this one, you're not going to believe this, is 54.5. That's not a lot. And they have Bama favored by a tutter, straight up 7 points. What you got in this one, Jude? I know you're on the lane train here.
Man, I am, and Jackson Dart is playing phenomenal football. He's still my dark horse. If we talk about that again this week, he's still my dark horse, Heisman candidate. 54 points. It's going to be. I'm going to take the over all day. Man, actually, you know what? This is the over is no guarantee. To be honest with you, I like what Lane Kiffin does on offense, but I'm torn, man. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take Ole Miss to cover, and I'm going to say whoever has the ball last wins.
Oh, you got to give me a winner. Come on. You can't leave like that.
Oh. All right. All right, Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to cover and win outright.
All right.
Wow.
Lindsay, I'm going to save you for last on this one. All right. So Jalen Milrose back at quarterback. I think that Nick Saban got Mac Brown the last week or 2 weeks ago by Texas. I think he was looking for something that wasn't there. He should stay with Milroe. He knows that Milroe's this guy, and Milroe knows that he is the starting quarterback. They get Malachi Moore is going to be back healthy this week. Alabama's going to crush Ole Miss this week. I'm taking Bama's not only going to cover, they're going to take the over. Bama's going to win this game outright, and Ole Miss is not going to look great. They'll score 25 points, but they're not beating Alabama. Alabama will absolutely walk the dog against them. That's my picks. Lindsay, what do you
got? I think that I'm going to take the over on this one, and I like Alabama to cover it. It's going to be a closer game than I think people tend to think that this is going into it, but I like Alabama on this one.
I'm just going to get away.
All right, we're sticking in the old Pac-12, or we're going back to that old Pac-12, and we have the 6 p.m. on Fox at the number 14 Oregon State Beaver traveling to Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington to take on the Cougar of Washington State University. America has this game picked as a 58.5-point game, and the Beaver is favored by 3 of those 58.5 points. Jude, you're the Pac-12 expert. What do you have in this game?
Man, Oregon State's defense is no joke. Washington State is playing good football. I'm going to take Washington State to win outright, and I'm going to take the under.
All right. Lindsay, what do you have in this? Oregon State at Washington State. Oh, well, hold on. Before we go to Lindsay, Jude, give me your primary reason why you're picking Washington State. We talked about this in the backstage. I know.
I told you when very beginning of when we were backstage that I was going to take the home team in this game.
I like it. That's a proclamation there. All right, Lindsay, what do you got? Number 14 Oregon State at number 21 Washington State.
Cool.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Oregon State will not be as affected by whatever home field advantage Washington State realizes here, and I'm going to pick them to win. I think they can do it outright while covering.
All right.
Oh.
Well, I've got Oregon State covering. I'm going to take the under. I don't think they get 58.5 points. This is going to be a lot more physical game than we think. Oregon's got a very good defense, and Washington State is a very good team. I'm picking Oregon State to win this game outright, though. Tough sledding, though. Tough sledding. And after all our picks are made, we have our G5 game of the week that we have to pick as a group, and then we will go to our game that doesn't matter, and we'll see if because we'll be in the overtime by then. We'll see if Jude can guess it. All right, at 6:30 p.m. on NBC, this is the national broadcasting channel. We have the number 6 Ohio State Buckeye traveling to Notre Dame Stadium in Notre Dame, Indiana. The number 9 Notre Dame Fighting Irish host Ohio State. The total points on this game is extremely low at 55.5, and Ohio State is favored by 3. Lindsay, let's say you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a higher scoring game than what's been predicted. I was going back and forth on this thing about what do I think about an upset on this one. I kind of like Notre Dame on this one, and I think that they stand a better chance than usual to pull this one out. So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame, and I'm gonna take an under on this one.
All right, Jude, what are your thoughts on Ohio State at Notre Dame?
I'm gonna agree with Lindsay. I'm gonna take Notre Dame, and I'm gonna take the under. I think it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah.
Well, our 5th Heisman contender that we didn't talk about hasn't thrown an interception at all this season. That'd be Sam Hartman. And
But
not
he's
only is
intercepted
Notre
our
Dame
hearts.
not only is Notre Dame going to cover, I'm going to take the over. Notre Dame's going to win this game outright. I think Notre Dame wins this game by 17 points. That's
Whoa.
a proclamation right there. 17.
That is a bold statement.
I don't think Ohio State stands a snowball's chance in at least South Texas chance in this game. It's not going to be close. I think Notre Dame throttles them. I don't believe in Ohio State. I've watched too many of their games this year, and I'm just not a believer in Ohio State. They have probably the second best wide receiver in college football behind Xavier Worthy, but that's it. They only have Marvin Harrison Jr. The team is not good. That's my opinion. They're way overrated. All right. Our final big 8 pick'em of the day. Also at 6:30 p.m. from that central broadcasting station, you have the number 24 Iowa Hawkeyes traveling to Beaver Stadium, University Park, Pennsylvania, better known as Happy Valley, to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, the total points on this one is really low. It's check this. Penn State in Iowa, that's a 40-point total over-under on this one. Penn State is picked to win this game by 14.5 points. What do you think on this one, Jude? Is there money to be made on this game? I think there is. What do you think?
Yeah, to take Penn State to cover. And what's the point spread? The final point spread?
14.5 points. Penn State's by
yeah, take them to cover. And the over-under was what?
40.
Oh, that's hard to win by 14 and do that. Well, Iowa State might score.
No, it's not 10. Iowa State. It's just Iowa.
I mean, Iowa. I'm sorry, Iowa.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm going to take Penn State. I'm going to take the under, and Penn State will cover. Okay. Yeah, Iowa can't score.
They're gonna. Okay. Lindsay, give me your prognostication of prognostications here.
I agree with Jude. Penn State to cover, and I've got to go with the under.
Well, I'm going to shock you guys because I'm taking Iowa to cover in this game. I'm taking the over, but Penn State's going to win this thing outright.
We were not ready for such a prediction.
The over?
The over.
You heard it here.
Man. So you're thinking
something to talk about.
28-20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And the college football world is a buzz.
I really think it's going to be in the 30s. I think that they're both going to score a bunch of points. Iowa's offense is a lot better than what people give them credit for. All right. With that said, let's get to the G5 game of the week. I have App State traveling to Laramie, Wyoming to take on the Cowboys from Wyoming at 6 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. The Cowboys are favored by 3. It's 42.5 points is the over-under. I have Wyoming covering. We're going to take the over, and Wyoming's going to straight up win this game. What do you think, Lindsay?
You said the words I was going to say. I'm right there with you.
All right, cool, Jude Santa Cruz. What do you got?
Wyoming to cover. I'll take the over.
All right. So should we do the game that doesn't matter first, or should we do the story for Bocce?
Oh, she's still with us?
Bocce, you got to listen, or you're still there. I won't tell the story without Bocce commenting. Bring on the cancel culture. That's always you got to get something like that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to give each of you
We should have a cancel culture corner. Set aside a little time.
We're there.
To say something completely.
Does anybody know the name of the mascot for the University of Miami? That was our trivia question earlier in the show. But anybody like to venture a guess?
Without Googling it?
Without Googling it. Jude knows this one because he's a degenerate football fan like I am.
I know what the mascot is. I'm not sure if I know his name, though.
Oh, you got to know the name. That's the most important part.
Well, and Bocce said, of course I'm here. Let's see.
Botch, you got part of the answer right.
I just looked it up. This is the stupidest.
I didn't ask you if it was cool or not. I just asked you what the
Who
mascot
thinks of this
was.
stuff? All right.
Tell me you didn't Google search something without telling me you didn't Google search something.
Not having had any idea what the answer was beforehand. Oh,
All right. So the
God.
mascot for the University of Miami, they're the Hurricanes, but their mascot is Sebastian the Ibis. There you go. Bocce got half of it right. She goes, I know it's an ibis, but I don't know the name. And I think she said under her breath, and I don't fucking care. But all right, so she's here. She's ready to hear the story. Lindsay, fill her in on how this thread went.
Well, last Saturday, we were just texting back and forth on a few football-related items as the games were playing out. And after the Boston College game, where BC just lost by a few points, Jude texts me and he says, "Man, Lindsay, I thought your Eagles of Boston College were going to beat Florida State today." And I said, BC did way better than I thought they would. It was a moral victory. To which Jude replied, "Yeah, but moral victory is like kissing your sister at midnight on New Year's Eve."
But wait, it gets better.
And I said, "But you're still kissing a girl." So.
And he had the emoji like,
And Jude replies to some cry laughing emojis. And then I said, "But it could be worse. A moral victory could be more like successfully counting the wrinkles on your dog's ball sack at midnight on New Year's Eve."
Anybody watching you asked.
So it could always be worse.
Yes.
If we're not on next week, now you know why.
So
Think
there's
of
your
one of
story,
these
Butch.
sponsors. Our only sponsor is the one that's laughing at this right now.
Uh,
There's 3 other people that are getting ready to turn this thing off. All right. We're to that time. Well, that was pretty good. It was pretty good. We're to that time now. Jude, would you like to guess what the game of the week that does not matter is?
oh.
Sure, I'll
I
take
gave
a
you a
shot.
clue.
I'm going to go out and guess. Is it a bulldog playing a pirate?
No.
Oh, because that was my guess was Gardner Webb at East Carolina.
I said D1 teams only. Oh, yeah. No. Okay, I got you. I'll give you one more shot. I'll give Lizzie a chance. Lizzie, venture a guess on this one.
I'm going to throw out as a possibility Arizona at Stanford.
No. We have some time to fill.
Was that a clue?
No. Oh, it could be. I don't know. You decide. Jude, would you like to venture another guess?
Sure. Has some gold in their uniform.
Oh, I know it. I bet I know.
How about Rice? The Rice Owls at the South Florida Bulls.
Yes?
That's a no.
Oh.
Lindsay, would you like to guess?
It's got to be the Boston College Louisville game.
No.
I thought for sure
Jude,
they had the gold.
one final guess, Jude. One final guess.
You get one more?
Jude, don't guess Boston College at Louisville.
Let's see here. How about I'm going to browse through the schedule here real quick. Too many teams have too early in the season. Most teams have a win. How about Oklahoma State at Iowa State?
Nailed it.
Oh, there we go.
The soundboard confirms you are correct, sir.
Yeah.
Well done.
With that said, that brings us to the hour and a half mark on the spot. That's Wide Right. Week number 4 college football. We're going to say our goodbyes. Let's make, he was last to show up. He's first to know it. Give us a goodbye from old Lindsey Coyle.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate you watching and being involved in the chat. And we will see you all Saturday to wrap up some of the games that were played that weekend. And we look forward to seeing you all then.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember, the West Coast is the best coast. Fight on. We are SC and B is for victory. And as always, you all know that we cannot spell the SEC without S and C. Good night.
All right. So we're going to say our goodbyes. I want everybody to let everybody know thank you for showing up. And remember, I will bring on our big guest, or we will bring on our big guest when we hit 50 subscribers. Now, I'm going to give you all a hint. This player played for the University of Texas and the Minnesota Vikings. If you can guess who it is, get us to 50 subs, and we're going to have this former professional athlete on the show with us. And once again, remember, the team that scores the most points always wins the game. Thanks for watching.